They're two happy women bringing you inspiring stories, politics, pop culture, and lifestyle hacks, all with an eye to making our communities and our country a better place to live. It's the Happy Women Podcast with your hosts, Jen Horn and Katie Gorka.
Thanks for joining us and welcome to a very Christmassy episode of the Happy Women Podcast. I'm Jennifer Horn.
And I'm Katie Gorka.
Merry Christmas, my friend.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Jen. That's so nice.
Merry Christmas to all of you. And you're all part of our Happy Women family. We are so grateful that you are there and that you spend some time with us each week. It really does. It means the world. So thank you so much for making us a part of your routine. And we spent a lot of time this year talking about politics and elections. And I don't know if you know this, but President Trump got reelected. Sorry, I just like to celebrate that one over and over and over again. I'm going to hold on to that for a while. But there's a lot to be grateful for and a lot to celebrate this holiday season. And it was really interesting because, Katie, I found this story about about people who were surveyed. Americans said that they're over Christmas traditions. Now, I happen to love Christmas. It's my favorite holiday.
What does that mean? They're done with Christmas traditions?
They're done with Christmas traditions. And so
I don't buy it.
I don't either. I think Christmas is still here to stay. But they did a poll of over 2,000 adults who celebrate Christmas, and they found that 31% are bored with the usual Christmas customs and would like to see more unusual alternatives during the lead up to Christmas. So I thought it would be fun today. We'll talk about some holiday movies and songs, things that we do, our traditions, but maybe we could go through these first. So of those on board with the idea of a switch up, most of the people who were interested in a holiday tradition switch up said that they would like to get rid of the traditional Christmas meal. Now,
no.
Now, I got to hear what your Christmas tradition is, but here's what's so funny about this. 44% said that they would like to get rid of traditional turkey. They'd rather have pizza instead. 38% said tacos. I mean, I could get behind that. And 34% said Chinese takeout as the preferred options over a turkey dinner on Christmas Day. So I must know, what are the traditions for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day at your house? Do you do something every single year or do you mix it up a little bit?
We have some pretty strong traditions. We've never done turkey, never done ham. So the tradition that I grew up with was actually, we did fondue on Christmas Eve. Because it was a meal that you can prep it pretty quickly and easily. Mm-hmm. And then everybody, you're cooking it as you go. So you can go to church and then come home and do your fondue dinner. And then, but we have not done that for a while. And then Christmas Day now here in my family, my son does the cooking. So he always does his most ambitious meal of the year. So twice now it's been beef Wellington. And I want to tell you,
wow,
it is, I think, the single best food I've ever eaten in my life. It is.
How did you raise the most talented kids on the planet? I've not met your son yet, but he's studying to be a doctor. He's obviously almost a professional chef. Your daughter is amazing.
Yeah, he loves to cook and he loves to cook ambitiously, which is not practical, but it works for Christmas. So, but I think this year we're just going to do a standing rib roast
for
Christmas Day with Yorkshire pudding, which is, sort of in honor of my husband's British childhood. And then Paulie wants to do, that's our son, Paul wants to do goose on Christmas Eve. And that's sort of in honor of our Hungarian heritage.
Yeah. Sebastian was telling me he loved the goose, that was their big thing. My cousin Sharon would always do, because I'm Czech and he's Hungarian, so it's pretty close. And she would always do a duck every year for Christmas. That was the big thing. I've never done a duck or a goose myself. I think it's foul.
So I don't know.
That was a joke.
I got that. So I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I was in the Czech Republic, I think one or two Christmases after the fall of the Berlin Wall. And I was there at Christmas time. And the funniest thing in Prague, I assume it's across the Czech Republic, but I was only in Prague. The funniest tradition is that they eat carp on Christmas Eve. Okay. But here's what's funny about it. All around the city, these huge, like almost like a mini swimming pool, like a mini above ground swimming pool. These huge tubs full of water and full of carp would be set up on street corners so that people could buy their Christmas Eve fish. And Sebastian was telling me that somehow they even did this once in England. So he's Hungarian, but I don't know if they knew a Czech person, and somebody brought them a carp. So they set the carp in the bathtub to keep it fresh until it was time to cook it.
Thankfully, my grandmother did not do that. She was more of a duck person. And we would do a lot of like goulash and dumplings as well for Christmas Eve, which I still kind of keep the tradition up with that. But her weird tradition when it comes to fish, and this was a Czech thing, is both she and my grandfather would eat creamed herring at midnight on New Year's Eve.
Wow.
Creamed herring.
Okay.
Why? I do not know. They'd pop that jar open and just,
I'm sorry. I have to say, I love creamed herring.
Do you?
My father, that was used to be his like little private treat. He'd eat it from the jar, from the fridge. And because of him, I actually really like it. I have to say.
There is something about it that just makes me go, oh. I think probably because it was forced upon me as a little kid so often, it was like, no.
No matter what, that is not a little kid food.
No little kid likes that, but they tried. So I'd say, I don't think in our family, Christmas Eve is the holiday I usually cook. And so I try to mix it up. I do a lot of goulash, a lot of dumplings, stroganoff and dumplings. We do a lot of roast, but Christmas Day, we are pretty traditional with the turkey, sometimes ham, but I don't know. I still think you only have turkey dinners maybe twice a year. Like,
I know.
Keep it. It's fine. Yeah. All right. So that's the food. Now, 47% said that they would prefer spending their whole day in pajamas rather than getting dressed up. I'm in on this.
Yes.
Christmas Day, I actually do spend in my pajamas, and not the ones I slept in. Like, I actually get up in the morning, I clean myself up, and I put on my pajamas on Christmas and pretty much day, because church for me is Christmas Eve. So, by the time Christmas Day comes, I can just kind of schlub around in my Christmas PJs. I don't mind that one. We can throw out that tradition. That's fine.
Yeah, I like that too.
You like that too? All right.
Yeah.
18% like the idea of doing a friends-only Christmas. 35% would choose to focus on quality time together over elaborate gifts or decorations. Now, that is a tradition I'm fully behind too. I love buying gifts for people, especially if I can find a great gift for someone. But I think we've talked about this before. Excursions, time together, something that is fun that can bring the whole family together, your friends. I so prefer that as a gift because you build more memories on those gifts. And I think you guys do that too, because I know your daughter gets you theater tickets. I mean, you do the same kind of thing instead of something physical.
Yeah, we love to do gifts, but we also love to do experiences. I think it's a great thing. Another thing I love to do in the lead up to Christmas, one of our sort of little private family traditions is I love to go Christmas shopping with my husband.
That's fun.
Yeah, this started when the kids were really small, and I remember we were just so utterly broke, but somehow we scraped together some money for some presents. And I just remember walking around in Alexandria, Virginia. It was a wonderful toy store. I still get nostalgic when I think about it. So we're actually going to go back to Alexandria this Saturday and do some Christmas shopping. I love spending that time together. When do a husband and wife get to go do that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Right? So.
And actually spend some time going to a real store, not just looking online. I think that's kind of fun too, just to walk around and look at something. Okay, so I have to ask, since we're talking about toys and toy stores, was there a toy that your kids went crazy for that they just had to have? Because I grew up during the Cabbage Patch era, and my poor parents had to bribe workers at Target. I mean, it was like a push to try to get a Cabbage Patch Kid when I was little. Was there a toy like that you guys did for your kids?
Well, wait, I have to talk about myself. So I
just
want
to
say, if Cabbage Patch was the toy for you, Snoopy was the toy for me,
I love Snoopy.
Which really dates me. I grew up in the 60s and I held on to that Snoopy for years and years and years. For my kids, I have to say that the things that I remember the most excitement around were iPods. Or like the little Nintendo. I mean, they both loved Legos and Playmobil. Those were always a really big treat and like sort of a big luxury, you know, to get the big Playmobil set.
Yeah.
But other than that, there was just, I remember the excitement about the iPods. I remember one Christmas, Julia knew that she was probably getting an iPod, and we got to the end of all the presents and it hadn't shown up. And she was really crestfallen. And then we discovered it had fallen between the cushions on the couch. But it was like Christmas was nearly a disaster that year.
Where did it go? When I was a kid, you know, yes, the Cabbage Patch craze. I hear the horror stories from my parents, but I was definitely, there were two toys that, well, I loved Barbies, but there was a very special Christmas. I may have shared this with you before. I was very young, but I still have the note and I still remember it. And I had asked for a My Pretty Pony, which is not to be confused with the My Little Pony, which was a big horse that had a mane that you could brush. And then a Pumpkin Farm, which was a Fisher Price stupid little toy set that was a farm where you like the pumpkins would roll and do magical things. And I really wanted those two things. That was what was on my list. And apparently Santa Claus at the North Pole had a really hard time getting those toys out because they happened to be very popular that year. So I woke up on Christmas morning to a note. I'm telling you, it was my best Christmas ever, over an IOU. That's what it really was. It was a note from Santa saying the elves were very busy and a lot of people wanted these toys, so we didn't have them. But on your birthday, I'll make a special trip from the North Pole and drop these toys off to you. And sure enough, my birthday's in February, didn't have to wait long. And I thought I was the coolest kid that Santa actually came back for me and dropped my toys off on my birthday. So that one stands out for me, and it was a stinking IOU.
I love that. I think that's super sweet.
All right. So toy shopping, that's pretty fun. We talked about some of the meals. Here are the top 10 Christmas traditions that Americans would like or would be open to swapping. 1, sending Christmas cards. Do you still send Christmas cards?
I was going to say, one of the things that I have done is I really try to say no to a lot of things because I don't want my Christmas to get eaten up by the busyness. Like if I get too crazy busy and stressed out, then Christmas is done for me. That becomes all that Christmas is about. So I tend to only do Christmas cards like once every other year or, every 3 years. What about you?
I used to do them every year religiously, and I would actually handwrite Christmas cards. And a couple of years ago, I just said, you know what, I'm like killing myself here, like you did. And I want to find the joy in the holiday season. So I anticipate that, like you, every few years, I think I'll probably do them again next year just to kind of like reconnect. But this year I did not. I did not send Christmas cards. And I'm sorry. There's only so much time. All right. They say they also like to get rid of ugly Christmas sweater parties, which I could do away with those. Who cares, right? Gift giving, I do love. I don't want to get rid of that one.
No.
Secret Santa gift exchanges. Do you still do those at all in your family?
No, we never did.
Yeah, that was kind of a work thing for me. Listening to Christmas songs, never. I've been on Christmas music non-stop. Are you kidding? Since Thanksgiving, even before.
100%. Never get rid of the Christmas music.
I think that's ridiculous. All right, favorite Christmas songs for you?
Oh, "O Come Emmanuel" is my number one. "Hark the Herald Angels Sing" I love. "The Holly and the Ivy." I don't know. I love the classics.
I love all the fun ones. Like I'm a Brenda Lee girl from way back. A little rocking around the Christmas tree, Let It Snow.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Burl Ives, Holly Jolly Christmas. Gotta love that. Let It Snow.
Oh, that's
love
funny.
'em.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have to say, for more current music, do yourself a favor if you have not listened to it. The Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani, You Make It Feel Like Christmas.
Oh, fun. I love them.
Do you really love them? You made a face like, oh gosh, she's lost her mind.
No, I love them. Well, I was a big fan of The Voice, and so I watched that budding relationship. I love them.
Well, I'm telling you, their Christmas song, You Make It Feel Like Christmas, I think it is so cute. It is such a fun one. All right. Watching Christmas movies. Also not getting rid of that tradition. That stays in my mind. I've been watching, I hate myself. I've been watching Hallmark movies. And I have to say I'm disappointed this year. And the ones I've seen so far, last year was a good crop. This year, I haven't been overly impressed yet, but there's also the Christmas classics, and my classics, I guess, would be Christmas Vacation. I love Elf. I think it is so sweet.
Wait a
Love
second.
Actually.
What is Christmas Vacation? What is that movie?
You wait a second.
What?
Oh, Katie, if you don't know this, we have homework. We have homework to do.
Wait,
you don't know Chevy
describe-
Chase? National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
No.
You're not kidding?
No.
Okay, you need to write this down and you need to watch it, and I need a book report next time we get together.
Okay.
It's silly. It's 1,000 years old. I mean, it's not 1,000 years old, but it was done at least probably in the 80s during the Vacation franchise. You know, the Vacation movie franchise with Chevy Chase?
Yeah.
And it's Chevy Chase, a very young Juliette Lewis. I think Beverly D'Angelo is in it.
Wow.
Oh gosh, Randy Quaid is in it. And it's just a very silly, funny, madcap, but yet sweet movie. So I think that you must need to see it. I mean, it's probably on every night of the week right now, like on A&E or something. So
all right.
Definitely Christmas Vacation. You've seen Elf.
Yeah, I like Elf. My husband can't stand it, but I watch it. I like
That's
it.
Okay.
I wouldn't put it in my top 10 Christmas
Love
movies.
Actually?
100%.
Love it. The Holiday. You like that one?
Love The Holiday. That
so
is
great.
Such a good one.
All right. What else is on your list for Christmas movies?
So I love the classics. Obviously, some of the really famous ones. The ones that I think are some of my favorites are White Christmas with Irving Berlin and Bing Crosby. It's by Irving Berlin, but it's with Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye. Saving General Waverly's Inn. I love that one. And I think it's also because I grew up in New England, and that movie so reminds me of the 10-hour drive that we used to have to make from Long Island up to my grandmother's house in New Hampshire before there was a highway. That's how old I am. But going through, snow-covered hills, it was just beautiful. And that's what that movie always brings back.
I love White Christmas. And I never saw it as a kid. I found it as an adult and just absolutely love it. And Holiday Inn too, which I think I've told you about. I like that one.
I love that one. I also like, and I discovered this one late, Christmas in Connecticut.
That's the one I told you about. Didn't I tell you that? On our movie edition, I love Christmas in Connecticut.
Oh, I think I hadn't made the connection when you told it to me. And then I was reminded of it, where Barbara Stanwyck plays a food writer, but pretends to be a housewife, and she's not a housewife.
And a mom, she steals a baby.
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
What about, I love the claymation classics. So we can't forget Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and Frosty the Snowman. I can watch those every single year.
I do watch them every single year. I actually record them, and I do it the old-fashioned way, like a grandma. I record them and I watch them through from their appearance. I think they're on CBS, and I absolutely love them. I think they're so much fun. And the other kids movie, kind of, was Home Alone. I grew up with that one. You ever watch that one?
Yeah.
Not so much. But what about the second one with President Trump?
I don't know that I've seen that one. I might have to watch. I think I'm going to have to watch that one this time.
I think you got to start with Christmas Vacation first, though.
I will.
Christmas Vacation, then Home Alone 2.
Okay.
You got to check it out. All right. So then they say that they'd like to get rid of Elf on the Shelf, which I never did that. Has that been anything for you? That's where the elf moves around magically every single night and finds himself in trouble. Kids seem to love it. Christmas lights, never getting rid of that. One of my favorite things to do at Christmas is to drive around and look at Christmas lights.
I love it.
And also on the list, holiday baking and treats. Do you do a lot of holiday baking?
I wouldn't say I do a lot, but I definitely do holiday baking. And there are just certain things that I love. I love gingerbread. I love some of the, especially some of the the German, it's sort of like the gingerbread with a bit of chocolate. Oh, yes. I love that.
Soft or crunchy gingerbread?
I'll eat crunchy, but soft is what really does it for me.
Me too. And it's so good. Oh, it's so good. I try to make a lot of my grandmother's cookies. I've not done it this year. It's been a short holiday season because I think Thanksgiving was too late, but maybe it'll be after Christmas. We'll do a little baking.
Okay, wait a second. What are you making for Christmas Day or Christmas Eve desserts? Because I haven't decided yet.
Okay, so usually it depends on who my audience is. So on Christmas Eve, we can either have a lot of kids or we have no kids. When we have a lot of kids, I typically will make brownies and I get peppermint ice cream and I put peppermint ice cream over the brownies and then a layer of whipped cream and then freeze everything. And then I put a little more whipped cream, hot fudge, and candy cane sprinkles on it. And the kids absolutely love that.
Oh, wait, can I just say
simple.
that is like the Cadillac version of what I was going to say, which is I love peppermint stick ice cream with hot fudge sauce. But your version sounds so much better.
I'm telling you, it is so easy because all you have to do, and you could even buy store-bought brownies if you want, but if you just make a tray of brownies and then soften up your peppermint ice cream, people love this every year, and then you just soften it out and put it in the freezer. You can do it days before, and then you top it with all the good hot fudge and the candy. Oh
my gosh, that sounds amazing.
It's a winner. And then some years we'll do, especially if I've done some baking, we'll do cookies. Sometimes it might be pies. Yeah, it really does depend. My mom did last year, and I could not believe it. It was gorgeous. She did a Yule log, which was so fun. I had never had one. That was not a traditional thing for us, but it was so fun. And it was almost so pretty, you just didn't want to eat it. But that seems very complicated for me.
That sounds like a fun one. The other one, one that I'm considering, I've only done it once, but it was absolutely mind-blowing, is apple strudel.
Ooh,
fresh. Yeah.
Fresh.
It's
I
incredible.
like that idea.
And it's not hard because you're just using the store-bought phyllo dough. And it was so unbelievably good. My husband loves anything like apple pie, but this is kind of, I don't know, a more sort of fancy version and harkens back to the old country. So why not?
Yeah, I love that. You know what? We need to put these recipes up. We have to figure it all out. My problem with recipes is I always just do everything by sort of intuition. So, which is not good with baking. Are you
serious? You don't actually follow recipes?
Not a lot. Sometimes. I mean, if it's something brand new, but if it's something I've done before, I definitely just
I'm impressed.
Kind of go by script. The other thing that I'll tell you is very good and very simple. If you're pumpkin people, because I'm a pumpkin girl.
Yeah.
Pumpkin dump cakes. Have you ever had those?
What's it called?
It's a pumpkin dump cake. It's not a great name.
No.
But literally, and you can do this, by the way, with apples. You can do this with cherries. You can do it with really any kind of filling. Mm-hmm. But basically, it's a filling you put into a casserole dish, and then you sprinkle it with yellow cake mix. You throw in like a bunch of butter and nuts and cinnamon and sugar, and you let it all bake in the oven. And I'm telling you, with some fresh whipped cream on top of it, it is absolutely delicious. And it's very easy because everything goes in all at once. So
wow. That sounds amazing.
Any kind of dump cake, just look them up online. The recipes are all over the place.
Okay.
All right. Boy, we're going to need our PhD weight loss again in the all of a sudden, my protein bar for lunch doesn't sound as good. All right. So decorating a Christmas tree was the last thing they want to get rid of. And can I give you a true confession?
Yes.
I am not OCD about a lot. I am not obsessive about a lot in my life, but I am a little crazy when it comes to my Christmas tree.
Tell me.
I have a beautiful big Christmas. I mean, it's 7 foot. I do a fake tree because in California, fresh trees just die way too quickly. And I like to put mine up mid-November for fun. And I put up my fake tree and I actually divide all my ornaments by color before. Because you might guess, as any of you know, if we start to hang out or if you start to listen to this podcast, I like a lot of colors. So I have pink ornaments, I have light purple ornaments, I have red ornaments, I have green ornaments, and I put them all on the tree so that it's balanced out so that you don't have clumps of color. And I'm very specific. Like everybody pretty much knows to just let me sort of decorate the tree because things just have certain places. But I'll tell you the best compliment I've ever received is someone walked into my house and said, wow, your tree looks professionally decorated and you don't have one single duplicated ornament. So All of my ornaments are all from different walks of life. They're all meaningful and whatever. But in any case, I put them all in that tree, and doggone it, it looks like it all fits. So that's my my superhero trick.
I love the fact that Christmas trees are like scrapbooks, right?
They are.
From every different year, you might have a different ornament, and they bring back different memories. I love that, and I think whoever wrote that list of Christmas traditions that they want to scrap, I think is in cahoots with the Grinch.
They're a Scrooge. I mean, I can see you want to get rid of an ugly sweater party, fine, but everything else, come on.
Yep.
Okay, so do you do a Christmas tree live, or do you do a fake tree?
Live.
Nice. I would want to come and smell your Christmas tree. I really do miss that. And it goes up. What do you have a traditional time that it goes up?
Yeah, we don't usually do it super, super early. We usually wait. Honestly, we usually wait till about mid-December. So ours has only been up like about a week.
All right. And outdoor lights, you've got those up, color or white?
No, I don't do outdoor lights.
No, huh?
I know I should, but I can't, I've just been so busy. I'm sorry. I just haven't had time. And I'm too cheap to hire those companies that come do the trees for you. Like I can't get myself to do it.
Do you know? So I went to a friend's house. They have a really nice house, a very big house, and their lights looked amazing. And she said, it took us forever to put these up. And she said, the neighbors across the street hired someone, but when I asked how much it was $20,000. I was like, for Christmas lights?
What? Are you serious?
That's a car. You could buy a car. I mean, there's just no way. No,
I would have been shocked to see. I think it's going to be like 1,000 or 2,000, and I think that's a big old waste of money.
It's too much, exactly. Yeah. But these people, $20,000. I thought, no way. Although I guess it's California. All right. So, any other things to share for Christmas that you feel compelled? Anything that we're missing? Songs, movies? We did food. What else?
Time together. So I got to tell you, okay, I'm going to end on this because, my favorite new toy is Grok, actually. Do you know this?
Yeah. You were telling me about this. Okay. AI.
So I love Grok. Grok is the AI tool that Elon Musk came up with. I mentioned to you recently, and everybody should do this. Go ask Grok, why is Jennifer Horn popular? Or plug in your own name. And, I thought, like, I don't have much of a public presence, but I was doing this because it started out by asking, why is Joe Rogan popular? And it came up. I said, okay, why is Katie Gorka popular? And
what did it say?
It gave me an answer that I would send to my mother. It was so sweet. It was like, it was not Wikipedia. I will tell you that much. Wikipedia is nasty, and it was not Wikipedia. So I loved it. Okay. So today I went to Grok with a different question.
Okay.
Today I went to Grok with the question, what does it take to be able to really love another person?
Ooh.
Because Christmas is about love.
That's beautiful.
It gave me such a nice answer. It said it requires empathy, patience, commitment, and selflessness.
I love that.
Yeah. So,
patience, empathy, selflessness,
and commitment. Yeah. And if you forget, just go on to Grok and ask him.
Maybe you'll get a different answer.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's what it's about this time of year.
Yeah. Very and time together. And I think quiet time and not being overwhelmed with busyness or whatever. I'm so excited. Both of our kids will be here. Our future daughter-in-law will be here.
I love that.
And I'm just so excited to get to spend time with them. So,
and this is a big year because this coming year, your son's going to be getting married. So this is kind of this is a special year. You're on the precipice of something that could lead to grandbabies and a whole lot more. So it's special. That's really exciting. I'm happy you guys are going to be home and all together. I'm happy I'm going to be home and together with my family and just enjoy it, and reach out to those people who maybe don't have that too. I think that's always a good thing to think about around the holidays. I always say after my family started moving out of California, like every sane person has started to do. A lot of times my Christmas Eve turns into, I call it like misfit Christmas Eve. If you don't have a place to go, you come to my house. And then Christmas Day is just kind of the quiet time for the family. So have some fun and Merry Christmas to all of you. A special, special thank you to our producer, Misty, who's our unsung hero of this podcast. And Misty, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you and your family as well. She's taken a trip to see her in-laws. So we also want to tell you, we've got a gift for you, hopefully. And that is that January 20th is the big day, guys. Cannot wait to spend the new year with you. January 20th is the day. Washington, D.C. is the place. And that's when and where President Trump will become the 47th president of the United States. It's Inauguration Day, and we want to send you there. You can win a once-in-a-lifetime VIP experience to attend the inauguration in Washington, D.C., including airfare. That's pretty darn amazing. It includes you and a guest. You get to go to Washington, a 3-night stay in the nation's capital, tickets for the presidential inauguration, and much, much more. Don't miss the extraordinary opportunity to celebrate the greatness, history, and excitement of a presidential inauguration. To enter, all you have to do is see the link in the show notes for this episode, or you can go to our website, which is salempodcastnetwork.com/Trump. That's salempodcastnetwork.com/Trump, and enter to win your chance to go to see President Trump get inaugurated. It's going to be a historic, historic day and the beginning of what we hope to be very good things for this country. So enter now. Also, don't forget to pick up Katie's book. It's called Next Gen Marxism, available wherever you get your books. You can also check her out at katiegorka.org. You can search her on Facebook. Just look for Catherine Gorka, and on X at Gorka Katie. You can find me on social media as well, Jennifer Horn Radio on Facebook and Instagram, and Jennifer Horn on X and on Truth. And thank you so much for all of your 5-star reviews, for sharing Happy Women with your friends. And you can connect with us on all of our platforms. All you have to do is go to salempodcastnetwork.com, connect with us on video, on audio, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us all the different places at salempodcastnetwork.com. Thanks so much for being with us. Merry, Merry Christmas from all of us. And we'll see you. I guess we can be cheesy and say, well, no, we'll see you before next year, I guess. Thanks for joining us. It's another episode of the Happy Women Podcast.